Jade, it's been a pretty big year for you, with the WNBA, the Olympics, the Rose Gold Medal, and now we're heading into the WNBL. But I wanted to start by just asking a bit about the Olympics and how it was a little bit of a rough start for the Opals, but you had a pretty good tournament overall. Just kind of after that, you started every game and also got just rising star of the Olympics, which is pretty cool for basketball, and that Serbia quarterfinal as well with a really great first half. Like, how do you look back on all of that? And as well, I just wanted to ask, do you think something maybe clicked in that game because it felt like you were just on fire for that whole tournament?
Yeah, I think like the Olympics as a whole was just the most unbelievable 2 weeks of my career. It was like so cool just being around the girls, like people that I've looked up to for a really long time. So it was super special. And yeah, I didn't expect to start walking into the tournament. I think back in June, I was just hoping to make the team. So yeah, having that trust given to you by the head coach in Sandy, the leadership group, and all your teammates, and them encouraging you and having your back the whole time was huge. And something that I'm like super thankful for and grateful for, and kind of speaks volumes to the culture that the Opals have. So that was very cool. And then for me, I took a lot of pride and really wanted to do my best in that role. So it was super important for me to play my best basketball, fill that role, and be the point guard that Australia needed me to be. Yeah, it took all of us a little bit of a slow start, but once we got rolling in the tournament, it was great. And that quarterfinal day that you mentioned, I remember walking to the bus with Lauren Jackson that morning, and she said to me like, you're gonna have a ripper today. Like I just feel it, and
Wow.
it was crazy when she said that because then, like, obviously my first half was really good. It stemmed from our defense. And I was able to get out in transition, get some assists. Me and Sammy at one stage were like alternating who would take it in turns to get the fast break layup. So that was really cool. We lost to USA, unfortunately. And I think they had their best game of the tournament against us. We all wish we could play that again, but obviously that's how tournament play works. And then to finish the tournament with a bronze medal was super special. A great Belgium side.
Mm.
Just yeah, when the final buzzer went off, I will never forget that moment. Just all the emotions, the adrenaline, like you've achieved something that was a childhood dream, and yeah, it was so cool. And yeah, I still hasn't sunk in that I'm an Olympic medalist. Like people be like, oh, like do you have your medal? Can I look at your medal? And it's like, oh, like sort of crazy. I'm like, yeah, you can, and I'm like, oh, like I did that. So very cool. And yeah, the Olympics was super special, and I hope I can be there in 4 years.
Well, congratulations. I'm so happy that you could have such a good tournament. But I did want to ask a bit about the WNBA as well. Obviously that was a pretty big part of this year. And just kind of starting at the beginning, getting traded from Seattle to Washington, which I imagine was a bit hard, being the team that you kind of went for growing up. But I guess being so young as well, were you able to adjust to that? Like, how did you adjust to that at all?
It was crazy. Like everyone talks about how much of a business the WNBA is, and I like copped it firsthand. I was like, wow, this really is a business. So yeah, the GM called me in on a Saturday morning. I went into the office. They told me the news. Obviously, some things had changed with Seattle. They had recruited some new pieces, and ultimately thought it was the best fit for me to go somewhere else. So super grateful for how that worked out, and that Washington were able to connect with them, and it was able to be a really smooth trade. But yeah, it's really crazy. Like you're wearing the Seattle green one day, and then you're in the red t-shirt of the Washington Mystics the next. So I got told at about midday by Seattle. I was on a flight the next morning to Washington at 7:30 a.m. Arrived there at 4 o'clock with the time change, and immediately was greeted by all the coaches. Met my teammates on Monday, and just getting that reassurance from the coach that, hey, you're not going anywhere. You're here the whole season. Just get comfortable in our system. Make sure you know everyone's names because the first game was the next night. So
Wow.
make sure you know everyone's names. So I kind of sat and just observed and watched the first week, and then slowly got like my opportunities, like kind of here and there, and then all of a sudden I became a really important. I got a really important role for that team. I was the backup point guard. I was playing consistent minutes, and just so grateful for the way they allowed me to learn through my mistakes. I was able to, be myself. I was surrounded by great people that like really were like very like-minded like me. And yeah, I absolutely loved this season. I gained a lot of confidence. I got better from the season before, and yeah, I finally like proved to myself most importantly that I belong in that league, and take a lot of confidence from that going ahead. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what I've learned and translate into the WNBL, and then next year into the WNBA again.
Yeah, and just about the WNBL as well. I guess you kind of had a similar experience to that previous season, kind of with the Caps losing those first 6 or 7 games, and then it happened again at Washington. Like, was that a bit frustrating kind of going from one environment to a really similar one?
At one stage, I was like, maybe I'm the problem. Like, I just keep losing.
Oh,
But no, in all seriousness, I think it kind of helped me kind of help the team in a way, because I'd been through though that experience with the Caps, and
yeah.
I knew what it was like to, not get off to the start you wanted to lose a few games. So being someone that wasn't playing at the start, just like, finding my feet in Washington, getting used to the system. I think it was really cool. And I allowed myself to, kind of speak up when I thought was necessary, just because I had been through experiences like that, really get energetic on the bench, trying to use what I use the learnings that I had learnt the previous year, and kind of create that environment where like we still want to enjoy what we're doing. That win's not far away. So yeah, I wasn't probably as flat as some of the other girls were, but the girls we had on the team, it was really cool, and we really all stuck together. The locker room was still good. You could walk into the training facility and you wouldn't know we'd lost. We were 0-11, 0-12. So it was nice to get the monkey off the back when we did. And then that set us up for a really great second half of the season, which was super fun.
Just one more thing about the WNBA, like all of the stats and just, by watching it on TV, you can see that it's been like the biggest season ever in the WNBA. And also just like how women's basketball has really grown. And you've been in the middle of all of that, which is so cool. And you even got to play in front of the biggest ever WNBA crowd. Like, what has this season just been like for you? And I guess as your, second only season in the WNBA.
It's been amazing, honestly, and just being a part of the year with the hype that the rookie class brought in. Like you said, I was lucky enough to play in front of, the biggest crowd the WNBA's ever had, and I think it was the third biggest crowd. I think Vegas was in the middle, but just the excitement around like Caitlin Clark, like her name's on everyone's mind, but just the impact she's having in women's sport is phenomenal, and someone like Angel Reese, Rakia Jackson, that rookie class was just so special, and the eyes that they brought to the league was just phenomenal. So it's a super exciting time. I think women's basketball everywhere is getting so big, and we pay a lot of credit to those that have, been through the trenches and kind of paved the way for us. There's so many phenomenal players that are only now getting the eyes and the recognition they deserve. And I'm so grateful that like they're able to be in the spotlight because they deserve it. And they've paved the way for us to, come in and, get bigger paychecks and stuff. So although we still have such a long way to go, I think in a really unique position as a 22-year-old to, see this sport really
Yeah.
explode. And I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully that momentum can maybe be brought to the WNBL soon. That would be really exciting to see. Um,
Well, I think it might because the Canberra Capitals have sold about 3,000 tickets for their first game.
wow.
So bigger arena this year. So hopefully, I'd love to. I know it's happening in Canberra. I know Geelong are really excited about their new team. Townsville are always great. So, yeah, hopefully, women's sport I think's in a really good position. And hopefully it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, already sold 3,000 tickets for your first home game. And you're playing at AIS Arena, which I know all of the Caps girls are really excited about from what I've heard. Like I've heard that the atmosphere at your old arena as well was like just amazing. But like, what are you expecting for this new one, getting to play at the upgraded AIS?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I went to the AIS Arena as a fan. I watched the 2019 Championship B1 and the 2020 Championship B1. It was great. We could just walk up the road from our dorm rooms at the
Uh,
AIS. It was perfect. But just the excitement around that building in Canberra, it holds so much history. The Canberra Capitals being the winningest WNBL team, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. So there's just a lot of buzz around the area right now. So I'm super excited. I've never played in it, and somewhere that I've really wanted to play. We love bigger venues. We love big crowds. So yeah, we're just encouraging, people to make a road trip, Canberra fans to get around it. But it's an exciting time. And, not just Canberra. I think, all the teams are in a really good position now. We've got some great recruits, great American stars again. So, why not now to go down to your local team on a Sunday afternoon, a Wednesday night, whenever it is, and get around the WNBL because if you're not there, you're missing out.
well, I'll definitely be making the trip down a few times, at least throughout the season. And you did mention some pretty exciting, you've got like US imports, including like the number one former draft pick of the WNBA, Charlie Collier. Like, can you just talk a bit about her? Like, how exciting has she been just to be in, I guess, camp with so far?
Yeah, immediately. I remember she came in for her first practice. And anyone that knows me knows I love a good big that can read my passes and play well with in the pick and roll. So she came in. The first time we got up and down was on a Friday, and Goz and I just looked at each other and we were like, this is the missing piece.
Wow.
She's so talented. Someone that, I haven't spoken to her too much yet, but like she's a competitor. She ultimately would love to get back into the WNBA. So, we want to help her out. And I think she's going to help us out more, probably more than we help her. But she's a great person. She's getting around all the girls. It's the first time too. She's been an older player in a team, so she's excited to be a vet. Not a veteran as such because she doesn't know the league, but be a leader for the group. But yeah, she's been great. She comes out for coffee with all the girls. Already on our strength and conditioning coach to give her extra conditioning. And what she brings to the court, loves to be inside. She can pick and pop, pick and roll. She's smart. And she knows what her strengths are. So we're super excited to have her on board. And I think the league should be really excited too.
Yeah, and you've also got Chantel Horvat, which is going to be exciting. I don't think she's actually really played in the WNBL much before, but she's got, lots of Europe and Opals experience. Like, how has she been?
She's been great. I feel like I've known Chantel for like years, but I've
Yeah.
literally only known her for 3 weeks. She's fantastic. She brings this just joy to the game that not a lot of people have. She just constantly reminds me and herself how much she loves this job, how lucky we are to be doing what we're doing, which is really cool. And, she's goofy, she's fun, and she's just a super athlete. She can get to the rim on both hands. She can pick and pop. And she's just been really good. She's a great leader for the team too. But then also she just keeps everything lighthearted. She knows she's goofy. She knows she's forgetful. All these different things, and we laugh at her. And we laugh with her. We laugh at her. She's just a great person to have around, and yeah, she brings a lot of knowledge. She's played kind of all around the world, and it's crazy to think that she's making her debut against Sydney.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, we're excited for her, and she's going to be great.
And one last girl that I do have to ask about, Nadia Poch, which I think you two are going to be like my favorite combination or one of them to watch this year. Like, what are you looking forward to about actually getting to play with her instead of against her after all this time?
Yeah, so when I played again, I played with Nards 3 years ago at the Under 19 World
Yeah.
Cup. The two of us won a silver medal together and formed a great relationship there. So I'm so excited to play with Nards, and I'm so impressed with how much she's matured and grown up in the last 3 years. She's been around people at Southside that are veterans. She's been around Lauren Jackson, Beck Cole, so many superstars that have been able to teach her how to look after her body, how to take care of the little things. And she's come in here and she's just a pro. So it's so cool to see. And I love someone that runs a lane. She runs the lanes hard. And she's really trying to use this year to then go over and dominate in the WNBA the following year. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see her journey. She loves the game of basketball. She's a great person to have around the group, and yeah, hopefully we can live up to your expectations of being the favorite duo.